Since the panelists have already spoken on the bigger picture, I'm not going to overload you with further information and initially focus on how aviation is related to the tourism industry. In truth, tourism and aviation industry are joined at the hip. Without tourists, your flights are empty. Without the flights, you do not get tourists. Globally, airlines carry 4 billion passengers annually, and close to 60% of international tourists travel by air, a share that's growing steadily. It was the introduction of the wide-body jets in the early 1960s that really opened up international leisure travel. National airlines drove destination growth, as they still do, as witnessed in the United Arab Emirates, Dubai being the prime example. With the deployment of charter carriers, massive package holidays grew. Now low-cost carriers are driving new air markets and independent holiday travel around the world. This brings me to tourism infrastructure. Tourism infrastructure is an important element of the quality of the tourist experience. The absence or inadequacy of the simple and basic amenities at the destinations will make tourism rarely succeed, because it will spoil the enjoyment of tourists. You may focus on attracting more and more tourists to the country. However, if little has been done with regard to the destination's tourist infrastructure in hosting a large number of tourists, all will end up in failure. Three factors, namely accommodation, transportation, accessibility, and tourist amenities, are the determining factors for the quality of destination's tourist infrastructure. After infrastructure, we need to focus on what Pakistan has to offer to the world as a tourism destination and how we can package and offer it to specific markets. Tourists these days begin their journey well before they set foot in a city or a country. I say so because the tour journey starts usually not by plane nor from any hotel, but actually it starts at the desktop computer, the cell phone, the pictures on Instagram or Twitter, through word of mouth, and also comments on social media. So actually the journey starts well before the tourists set off. My second observation is that tourists know far more than before, fortunately or unfortunately, not from official channels but from social media, for instance Twitter or Instagram. In fact, non-official information plays a more significant role than what the governments are providing. The third observation is that tourists do not just come to see. The old description of sightseeing is a bit outdated, because nowadays you can see a lot of things on the web. People actually come here to experience. Last but not least, tourists these days instantly share the experience real time by split seconds with their friends in other parts of the world, and these are the major challenges that the industry is facing today. So outlining a tourism policy and focusing on specific areas in Pakistan to develop them as tourism hubs is essential. Pakistan may borrow from the experience of Malaysia, which has an excellent and well-functioning tourism board, which is quite active around the globe, pushing Malaysia as a tourism destination. Regarding destinations, I think India, China, and Gulf Saudi Arabia shall be the primary focus of the inbound tourism for Pakistan. India is one of the fastest growing outbound travel markets in the world. There were 23 million outbound tourist departures from India in 2017, and the UN World Travel Organization expects this to more than double to 50 million in 2020. India has strong cultural, historical, and political links with Pakistan, with a rapidly growing middle class. China has the largest outbound travel market in the world at the moment, and Pakistan being a part of the Belt and Road Initiative, the potential of inbound tourism from China is huge, given that the security issues are sorted out. The cooler climate and green scenery of the northern areas would be a huge attraction for the Gulf and Saudi tourists. This we know from the northern part of Turkey, which shares a similar climate with the northern areas of Pakistan, and which draws a considerable number of tourists from Gulf and Saudi Arabia at the moment. To conclude, outlining a viable tourism policy with the participation of all the stakeholders is essential, and after that, policy implementation is key. Pakistani tourism infrastructure needs to be improved with considerable investment in hotels, airports, and transportation facilities. Thank you so much.